Inspiration's a funny thing. Walt Disney once said that part of the idea for Mickey Mouse flowed from the wistfulness of Charlie Chaplin's The Tramp, a little fellow trying to do the best he could. Today we'll look at the inspiration behind Wile E. Coyote and what animator Chuck Jones listed as the 9 rules he used in guiding the ever-popular Roadrunner series. Steven Spielberg, in the foreword to the book Chuck Amuck, wrote, "If Walt Disney was the first animator who taught me how to fly in my dreams, Chuck Jones was the first animator who made me laugh at them." Jones was an Academy Award-winning animator and the co-creator of Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, Elmer Fudd, The Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote. He credits Mark Twain's 1872 book Roughing It with giving him the initial spark for the Coyote. Twain has a whole chapter in here about the Coyote. It's a small chapter, but the whole book is kind of a stagecoach trip that he recounts that he took to the southwest part of the United States. Here's a line, 2 lines that stuck out to Jones. "The coyote is a living, breathing allegory of want. He is always hungry." The coyote is a living, breathing allegory of want. He is always hungry. Could you run with that? I think if you were in an acting class, somebody could just run with that idea. The coyote is a living, breathing allegory of want. He is always hungry. Other descriptions of the coyote in that chapter are that he's a long, slim, sick, and sorry-looking skeleton. He has a long, sharp face, exposed teeth. He is always poor, out of luck, and friendless. The meanest creatures despise him. In a 2013 interview with Bob Costas, Jones paid particular attention to another important trait of the coyote. Twain wrote, "He does not mind going 100 miles to breakfast and 150 to dinner because he is sure to have 3 or 4 days between meals." I think it's fair to say that Jones at least had some respect for the coyote. He said he first read Roughing It when he was 7 or 8 years old. Now, I don't know how many 7 or 8-year-olds are reading Mark Twain today, but I imagine that's a pretty small number. But one of the things that made it stick in his mind is that Jones's sister said that she thought he resembled a coyote. Sisters say things like that. Wile E. Coyote may not be the best-looking creature in the animal kingdom, but he's scrappy and resilient. Audiences of all ages around the world speaking all kinds of different languages can identify with the struggle of the coyote who, Twain said, lives in the most desolate and forbidding deserts. Jones and co-creator Michael Maltese set out in 1949 to entertain people in what is now known as the golden age of animation, before the rise of television, when all animation was shown in movie theaters. Jones said that they started out trying to do a satire of the popular Tom and Jerry series. But the satire failed, but the Coyote and the Roadrunner gained its own audience with its own version of a cat and mouse game. Somewhere along the way, Jones said he came up with some rules to guide them in creating shows. Jones said in his book, "There must be rules. Without them, comedy slops over the edges." Here are 9 rules that Jones said they obeyed. It's important that they apparently evolved over time because some of these rules were violated from time to time, and there was different writers and directors. But anyway, if you hate the word rules, skip to the end and hear a quote by Oscar-winning screenwriter Aaron Sorkin that may change your mind. Rule number 1, the Roadrunner cannot harm the coyote except by going beep beep, or I think as he says, meep meep. Rule number 2, no outside force can harm the coyote, only his own ineptitude or failure of the Acme products. Rule number 3, the coyote could stop at any time if he were not a fanatic. Rule number 4, no dialogue ever, except meep meep. Rule number 5, the Roadrunner must stay on the road, otherwise, logically, he would not be called the Roadrunner. Rule number 6, all action must be confined to the natural environment of the characters, the Southwest American desert. Rule 7, all materials, tools, weapons, or mechanical conveniences must be obtained by the Acme Corporation. Rule number 8, whenever possible, make gravity the coyote's greatest enemy. Rule number 9, the coyote is always more humiliated than harmed by his failures. Now, creative people tend to bristle at the word rules, but none other than Aaron Sorkin said this in his master class, quote, "There's a tendency to think that art is finally the place where there are no rules, where You can have complete freedom. I'm just going to sit at the keyboard and just let it flow out of me onto the paper, and it's going to be pure art. No, what you're describing is finger painting. Rules are what make art beautiful, unquote. Granted, not everyone agrees with Sorkin, David Lynch, and I'll do a video on that later. But newsflash, one solid takeaway from the Coyote and the Roadrunner is there's nothing new under the sun. Everything's a remix. The key thing is to put your own spin on a proven idea. For Jones, it was a little bit of Mark Twain, a little bit of Tom and Jerry mixed with his own insecurities. Boom, we have a classic. I love this quote by Seth Godin. Someone is going to invent a new art form, a new medium. It's probably not going to be you. So follow in someone else's footsteps. That certainly worked for Chuck Jones. It worked for Shakespeare. And I hope it works for you. He credits. Twain. The Twain. I'm starting to sound like Bugs Bunny, I think, here. And this is the couple sentences that Jones said stuck out. That's all, folks.